Gamerheads Podcast is part of the Little Fellow Media Podcast Network, sponsored by podcast host Budsprout, the easiest podcasting software for hosting, promoting, and tracking your podcast. And welcome to the Gamerheads review episode. So we're going to do a couple of these episodes, and we'll be reviewing games. And today we'll be reviewing Assassin's Creed 3 Remastered Edition on the Nintendo Switch. So thank you to Ubisoft.
You know it would have been such a great opening? Is if you could have the Masterpiece Theater music playing. Welcome to the Gamerheads review of the week.
I can find something. I can find something that would be similar, at least. I think I can do that.
That would be perfect.
I will do my best. So Assassin's Creed 3 for Nintendo Switch. So this is the remastered edition. So Ubisoft came out with the remastered edition for Assassin's Creed 3 back in April, and it also came out on the Switch as well. And actually, right now, if you get the season pass for Assassin's Creed Odyssey, you also get Assassin's Creed 3 remastered.
Oh, no way!
Yeah. So it's kind of cool, and the remastered version also comes with Liberation as well, Assassin's Creed Liberation, which was a Vita exclusive at the time. And then I don't know if it comes with the DLC, but the remastered version that I played, and if you buy it separately, you do get the DLC, and that's I think it's like the Madness of King George or something like that. So George Washington goes mad, and he becomes
Washington?
king. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's an alternative. Yeah. So so that you have to take down King George Washington. So it's cool. I will say this: I did not play the DLC, but I did play the other two games, and I will talk about them on the Switch. So the first thing I will mention is that this is a remastered version, but it's hard to call it a remastered version.
It's more of a port?
Yes.
Oh.
And I feel like it's a port of the PlayStation 3 version, because like the graphics are not as crisp and clean as they are on the remastered for PS4 and Xbox One. And I mean, I don't know how you could, right? I mean, it is what it is. So while this is called the remastered, I'm not sure if that's really the right term. I can see why they call it remastered, because you do get, the Liberation and that DLC for free as well, which came with everything else. But it's hard to call it remastered on the on the Switch. And the other thing, not only are the graphics, I mean, they're not bad. They just look like PlayStation 3 graphics, which is fine by me. It's like not, I'm not gonna expect that much on a Nintendo Switch. The one thing that is kind of annoying, when you come out of cutscenes, the audio glitches. Like, you can hear this glitching. Yeah.
See, now I'd be interested to see what's the difference between playing the remaster on the Switch versus the PS4 or the Xbox One.
Yeah, I know. I do want to get my hands on that as well, just to see how different it is. So those, and the one other thing I'll just mention quickly, like really, this is a remastered? So the frame rates are not all that great.
But is that the Switch's fault or the game's fault?
I don't know. I think it's the trying to put this game on the Switch, because I will say this. I mean, it's amazing. They'd put everything. They weren't cutting back on anything on this game. They put everything in this game. Like, you can do all the side quests. You can, walk around. I mean, the world is huge. This is the first time that they tried to take a full Assassin's Creed game and put it onto a portable system. I mean, Liberation was not quite the same scale. I mean, Liberation is much smaller. And so I'll give them tons of credit for that, because, like, that had been a lot of undertaking to do that. Like, that's crazy. But there are times where you're riding and then enemies will just pop up and you're like, wait, how did you get there?
They apparated.
Yeah.
Spell from Harry Potter.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, hey, wait a minute. This is not the Harry Potter game. But they are British. So I mean, there is that, but the thing I will say that while it had its issues, I actually really enjoyed my time with the game. I've never played Assassin's Creed 3 before, so I've played Assassin's Creed 1 and 2, and I always wanted to play 3, I just never got a chance to, and then I played 4, which is Black Flag, and then I played Unity, and I played Origins, and I played some of Odyssey.
Dang. Did you finish all those, or you've just dabbled?
The last couple, Odyssey I just dabbled. Origins I played quite a bit of, and then Unity I just dabbled in, and then Black Flag I played a lot of, and 1 and 2 I played a lot of. So I didn't finish those all.
No, but you're a series veteran.
I would say that I'm familiar enough that I understand, the game. The one thing that I was super intrigued by this game when it came out because it takes place in America, which is cool, right? And it takes place during like the Revolutionary War, which is awesome. Being a history major, I'm like, this is so cool. And I enjoyed that. I enjoyed like running into like historical characters. I enjoyed running into Sam Adams.
Were you geeking out every time you met somebody?
I kind of did. I'm like, oh, that's Ben Franklin. There's Paul Revere. This is awesome. Like, you get to ride with Paul Revere when he's going around telling people like, hey, get together, the British are coming. Like, that's cool. It was cool. It was great. Those are moments that I really enjoyed in the game, and there was times too where you were leading the missions to like fight against the British as they came in and tried to attack you. It was great. It was cool. But I want to say like that was really great. It's just hard to call it a remastered version when it had all the errors that it had. And I heard this about the other versions too, and I didn't play the other versions of PlayStation or the Xbox One of the remastered, but I did hear that the characters looked a little waxy.
Waxy.
There's times where you're playing the game and the characters just like look like from a wax museum. Their eyes are kind of weird looking, and their facial expressions are just weird. It looked like a wax museum. So it looked.
That's not creepy.
It was really creepy. It really was.
That's not creepy at all.
Yeah. So I mean, there was that, and I don't know if, I don't think that was entirely just on the Switch. I heard there was other versions as well. But the music is good. The voice acting is amazing. A lot of time and effort was put into this game, and I'm glad that they didn't cut any of it saying, "Oh, here's the Switch version."
The abridged version.
Yeah, exactly. It was great. It was cool that they put all that in there. And the story behind it, I mean, if you haven't played Assassin's Creed 3, I will say it's kind of weird because there's so much Assassin's Creed 3, there's so much tied to the first and second one that if you play, you just jump into the third one. So if you're a Switch owner and you've only played Nintendo games, although did the first and second one come to the Wii U? I'm not sure. But if you haven't played any of the other Assassin's Creed games, at least 1 and 2, it probably would be, you don't need to, but if you want to know more about the story, it's probably a good idea to play the first 2. And what I liked about, Assassin's Creed after the first 3 games, they kind of went away from this whole Templars versus...
Yeah, there is really something to be said for standalone entries in a series so that you don't feel all this pressure to go back and catch up on what are already enormously huge games. And it discourages you from jumping into the series because you're like, it's going to take me 4 years.
Yeah, exactly.
Just to catch up.
Yeah, it's weird. I mean, it's weird. I don't know why Ubisoft decided to make a remastered of just, Assassin's Creed 3 and start there and then put that on the Switch when, it didn't. Nintendo players, I don't think ever had a chance to play. If you only played Nintendo consoles, probably most people don't just play one console. But if you did, you never really got a chance to play the first 2. So it's kind of weird that you jump in on number 3. But that being said, I mean, you could just do a little research and figure out what's going on in 3 as well. I mean, even the beginning kind of gives you a little wrap up of what's going on in the whole story. Mm-hmm. So it's not the end of the world. And this character is certainly a new character that you're playing. But the story is great. I mean, I will say that too. It's an interesting storyline. I don't want to give too much away if you haven't played it. I mean, it's an older game already, but there's a plot twist right in the beginning of the game, which is kind of cool. It's very Shakespearean, I'll say that.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, overall, I enjoyed my time with the game. It has its flaws for sure, but I would give it a B- overall. I still think it's a good game to play, and it's amazing that it came to the Switch and it didn't cut anything out, and it comes with the DLC for free and Liberation for free. So, I mean, a part of the cost, I should say, not free, but part of all that package.
Included.
That's great. Included. So, yeah, that's Assassin's Creed 3 for the PlayStation for the Nintendo Switch, but it is on PlayStation 4.
For the PlayStation Switch.
It's for the PlayStation Switch, PlayStation 3 Switch. All right, so thanks everybody for listening to this very short episode, and we'll have more of these reviews like this going on in the future.